Hello everyone, this is Helios Raven. I tell you how you do it, even if you don't care. And today is a video apology and a bit of celebration. Let's go and get over with the apology first. I do apologize for the lack of videos that have been happening. My computer crashed. And with my computer crashing, a couple of my programs got a little bit messed up, and it's been a whole big to-do to try and get everything back up and running and up to snuff. And so I do apologize for that. I also will kind of admit I've been kind of lacking, lost a slight interest in hobby painting for a bit. This tends to happen every so often. Every so often I just paint so much that I just, go, I don't want to do this right now. And I kind of hit a rut. And so I've kind of hit that rut, but I'm trying to work out other projects I can do within the 40K the Games Workshop world that I can make videos on while I'm working on getting out of this rut, and I've already got some of them worked out. But the general main reason for the lack of videos lately has been because my computer crashed, and I just got it back up, got all my programs running again, and so I should be, hopefully, God willing, be up and running for quite some time until I can get a new computer. And with the very pathetic pay that I get from my job and the lack of any lack of prospects of finding a new one that would pay better, that may be some time. So let's just hope that what I did was not a temporary fix and more of a long-term solution. And also, apology out of the way right there. It's not that I don't mean it. I do apologize because I do feel terrible about that. But, what's happened has happened. I can't control it. So now on to some good news. Good news is I've hit my 200th subscriber and then some a couple of weeks ago, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for subscribing to me and keep watching me every week. I probably wouldn't have been going on for as long if I wasn't getting views from everything. Even the bad, even if there's, people out there, making negative comments or such, you're still watching the video, so you took the time to watch the whole thing, so whatnot. And guys have also been giving me a lot of good advice and such as well, and I've seen a lot of neat YouTube videos out there as well. I may not comment and such as much as most people, but I do tend to go around and watch other videos that I see on YouTube, some of them from my subscribers, and so I'm just really grateful that I managed to get 200 subscribers, and the number keeps going up. And so I guess one thing is to say is, going off of what I've noticed is I have noticed that that my Battlefleet Gothic videos have been the most popular, so I'm probably going to try to focus a little bit more on the Battlefleet Gothic. There's really not much more I can do. I can do one more army showcase for Battlefleet Gothic, and then I'm probably going to do a couple of battle reports, and maybe if I can think of some projects I can think of to do with Battlefleet Gothic, I'll do some of that as well. But there's really not much we can really do more with Battlefleet Gothic in terms of anything like that. But if there's any types of videos you guys can think of that you'd want to see, feel free to comment, and I'll look into trying to get something worked out for you guys. We had a battle report going. If you watch the other video that's posted, that explains a little bit more on that front. Gotta fix the chair, as you can see. So I guess for the one thing here is I'll explain a little bit about what got me into Warhammer 40K to begin with. I was gonna save it for probably like a 2-year anniversary, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like much of a 2-year anniversary video, so I'll explain it here since I have hit a milestone of 200 subscribers. So I first started in high school. This was around 3rd generation, I believe. What happened was I was big into Star Wars collectible cards. I was collecting them like crazy. And I turned to my friend once and I said, if only you played Star Wars collectible cards, then we'd have something, to do. And my friend goes, well, if you played Warhammer, then we would have something to do. And I was like, Warhammer, what's Warhammer? And he goes, Warhammer 40k. It's a tabletop game, and he pulls out of his bag the Eldar Codex. Now, this was the blue-covered one with the, I guess it would be an Aratek, if that's how you pronounce it. Would be, you know, the dude crouching down with the cape and the giant sword, and along the spine it says, their firepower is only matched by their ignorance. And he started explaining, you know, what it was, what the game's about, and everything. And I was like, huh, this is really interesting. And since I've only seen the Eldar Codex at this time, the Eldar got my peak interest. So I played some, I didn't really play, I found out where he went to go get his Warhammer 40k stuff, and I went there, and I went to the shopkeeper, and was like, I want to buy some Eldar, I want to start playing Warhammer 40k. And the shopkeeper's like, no. I'm going to say no on that. I want you to play a game beforehand, before you jump into this thing. First I was like, oh, you know, what the hell is this guy thinking, you know, and I leave the store because my dad couldn't stick around for that. This was back when I couldn't drive. So, and my dad worked, he did house calls during the weekends, so I couldn't stick around. And so I was sitting there and I was grumbling, and then the following week, my dad made time to bring me back down to the store. And he's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna do my job, you know, drop you off, do everything, and I'll meet you back here. And so I go and I play a game of Warhammer 40k against this store guy's Imperial Guard against this bunch of Eldar that he had. And I played around, and we played one quick match, and I was like, yeah, I like this. I can get into this. So I picked up the Eldar, and that's what started. I was very random at first. I first did Salmonhan because I like the snake symbol on the thing, and so I went off with that for the most part. And I met one of my friends, other friends who got him into Warhammer 40k, and he introduces me to the Dark Angels. And so I looked into the Dark Angels, like, these guys are really neat. Maybe I'll collect a little bit of them here and there. And so I started playing with the Dark Angels a little bit, and then my friend, he had the I don't know if it was the original Codex, I think it was the second generation Codex, where it was the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels. It was the Angels of Death book. And I got to read up more on the Dark Angels, like, this army is awesome! And so then I started spending equal time with the Dark Angels and the Eldar. And around this time, the Eldar Craft World Codex came out. And looking at that, I was clicking through the thing, and I was like, you know what? Screw Salmonhan, I like Bellytan. So I picked up the Bellytan. So I started playing the Bellytan army. And at this point, I had tournament-size armies of Eldar and the Dark Angels. And at that point in the game, the Tyranids were coming out with a new codex, and I looked that up, and I kind of got interested in Tyranids, so I picked up a small army of them, which turned into a very large army very quickly. And I played a couple of tournaments, mainly with my I did 3 tournaments in general. I did actually no, about 3 or 4. I did my Dark Angels mostly, and my Eldar. And I was building up an idea for a Tyranid army, but then I found out how much it was going to cost, and I was like, I ain't bothering with this, because I only made like $40 a week at this time point. So I was just like, I ain't bothering with the Tyranids. You know, I'll pick and choose, but I'm not going to really build up any more from them. I had a decent-sized force at this point. And the last tournament I did was, I forget what date, the certificate's around here somewhere, but I won Best Army with my Bellytan Eldar. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And I was like, okay, my Eldar, you guys are set. You know, I don't need to build you up anymore. You guys are pretty good. You got a nice, solid set going there. Same with the Dark Angels, and and the Tyranids. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But then at that point, the Necrons came out, and I was like, well, these guys are awesome. And so I picked up the Necrons. I participated in a tournament at my local gaming store with the introduction, you know, welcoming the Necrons into the 40k universe with their first official codex since that little small mission campaign that they had, where they had a very, like, pseudo-codex. And at that point, my friend that got me into the game stopped playing Warhammer 40k. And I lost touch with pretty much all my friends that were playing with Warhammer 40k, which actually he was the only one at the time. And that's the time I went to college. I met this one guy, and we started playing. I think we played one game once up in college. Against his Imperial Guard against my Necrons, and I think I played against him with my Eldar once. I don't recall. Like, I don't remember exactly how many games we played in that time, but that was when 4th edition rules were coming out, and I was just like, wait a minute, so all my rules are changing, all this stuff is done, I'm done. I barely play the game, I'm over this. So I sold all my armies on eBay, and that was it. I stopped playing the Warhammer 40k. And then I got into another game, War Machine. And at that point, after I graduated college, I started hanging out at my local hobby shop again because, you know, I was playing War Machine with my friend who stopped playing Warhammer 40k and picked up War Machine because he could afford it more. And while we were playing at our local hobby store, 2 of my college friends came in. I forgot that they were at the college right by my house. And I was like, oh, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, oh, we play Warhammer 40k. And this was when 5th edition was just coming out. And I was like, oh, crap. You know, my friend who was playing War Machine was slowly not playing anymore. And I was like, screw this, then I started paying 40k again. I picked up the Necrons. No, I first picked up the Thousand Sun Space Marines because I was like, I want to do Chaos. And then I picked up the Necrons, and I had both those forces for a while. And I was like, yeah, you know, back to the game. I had friends, we played consistently, and we always had fun. And so, one friend pseudo stopped, like, he still collects, but I haven't seen him in ages, mainly because our schedules conflict. And so I usually play with Phil, who you guys met in my battle reports, and that's usually been it for that. I recently just sold my Necrons, mainly because I don't play them anymore, and I was like, you know, they're fun, but they're just not an army for me. So I scrapped them, and I've got my Imperial Guard, I've got my Eldar, I got my Chaos Space Marines, and I'm going to be building a Dark Angel Space Marine army soon. And so, at this current moment, my Eldar are on deck, because I have very little left to do with them, so I'm working them out, and then I'm going to rework their codex up, and then I'm going to probably tweak the Thousand Suns a little bit, because they also are a little weak. Almost done, and then the Dark Angels I'm saving, mainly like I really want to paint them, but I really want to get these other armies done first, and kind of have that be my final 40k army. I'll buy new models and such, and rearrange, you know, stuff around there, and I'll buy Forge World stuff and build on my armies, but I'm not going to do any more than 4 that I've decided, mainly because 4 is a nice number. I've got, you know, 2... you know, Order armies, 2 Chaos, actually 3 Order armies and 1 Chaos army, and such, but I figured I'll follow on that, and then from there I'll see what happens. And that's basically it. So, again, thank you everybody who subscribed to me. You know, it's because of you that I keep doing this. You know, tell your friends, you know, about me, see if we can get that subscription number to go up. If there's any suggestions for any videos that you want me to do, if you want to see more of this, if you want to see more of that, post a comment here, and I'll see what I can do. Right now, money is kind of tight for me, so I will try whatever I'll see whatever the suggestions that you guys want. I can see about doing them, but if a lot of them cause them for me to, you know, have to spend some cash, they probably won't be able to happen because I've got a whole bunch of other projects going around, and I'm trying to save up for some stuff and stuff like that, and get some personal things taken care of. But like I said, thank you all for subscribing. Sorry for the lack of videos lately. Let me know what you guys want to see, because I'm very interested to see what you guys like to see go with this series. And that is all. Until next time, this is Helios Raven, signing off.